Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, November 18th. Welcome into the morning medical update. Glad you are with us here on Facebook and our YouTube channel this morning. Coming up today.
I look at some women who have aged gracefully instead of doing plastic surgery and stuff, and I think, oh, they're beautiful, But when I look at myself, I don't think that same thing.
Oh, girl, you are beautiful. Please. Okay, you might be one of those people, though, constantly trying to turn back the clock on your age. But is it really possible to buy your way out of it? Or are you better off just accepting it? Aging gracefully. You get what you get. Be natural. Or does a little help really help, or are we just wasting all of our money? We have brought in the experts today, and we're going to break down the myths and get down to the truth. So make sure you get your questions sent into us on YouTube, Facebook, and the Medical News Network. You can find links right there on your screen. But first, Dr. Dana Hawkinson is in with us this morning with our numbers. Good morning to you.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, we're holding steady. 18 active infections with 8 in the ICU, and 3 of those on the ventilator. We still have 17 in that recovery period, so a total of 35. Overall, we have been hanging in that mid-35 range for total patients, and again, high teens, low 20s for active infections. But again, it is concerning. We know that hospitalizations lag behind cases, and we know that cases in the United States, but also here locally, on the 7-day rolling average are increasing.
Well, we've been getting questions about what do the numbers really mean and what are they going to mean, moving in the next few weeks. So I'm sure we'll get some questions on that today. But before we get too far in, do we have any reporter questions on the line? Gone. Okay, we are going to get to our viewer questions here in just a bit again, so get those in. But first, do you really want to know how much people spend on looking better? Let's just say when you add it all up, you might be able to pay for some of your kids' college. Okay, so check out these numbers. Check it out. $313 on average for products every month. Over $3,700 for products in a year. $225,000 for products over a lifetime. Now, the $313 didn't totally surprise me, but over a lifetime. That hurts. Those are some pretty stiff numbers. And joining us in studio this morning to talk all about it, Dr. Anand Rajpara. He is the medical director of dermatology, sitting right here to my right. Also, Dr. Chris Tomasian. He is a dermatology fellow here at the health system. How are you both doing today?
Doing wonderful. How are you?
I said when you walked in, I said, please give me some good news today. Please say all the things that I've been doing and spending my money on are working. Not necessarily going to be the case, is it?
I'm sure some of the things are right. Some of the things are probably a waste of money.
A little misguided. Okay, so we're gonna talk more about that and take some questions from our audience. Also joining us live this morning from our Indian Creek location. So glad to be joined by plastic surgeon Dr. Julie Holding. Hi, Dr. Holding. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm sure we'll have questions for you this morning on everything that you're doing. But first of all, just tell us what we're going to see here in just a few moments live out at our Indian Creek location.
Well, this is Bethany. She's one of our estheticians, and she's going to be performing a HydraFacial. Many people don't know that we offer aesthetic and spa services here, and so she's going to be doing a HydraFacial for us. And HydraFacial, unlike some other facials, what it does is it uses water to gently exfoliate and clear the pores, unlike the manual extraction, and it can help the products rehydrate the skin, making you look like you glow and very nice moisturized skin.
Well, we love a good healthy glow, and the word you used was gentle, because I know a lot of us just scrub our faces and hope that dead skin's going to fall off, and water, it sounds like, is a much gentler way to go. But realistically, Dr. Holding, just tell us a little bit about getting these professional facials. Does it really make a difference? Is it more of a short-term glow, or is there a long-term benefit?
There's always a long-term benefit for something like this. I say gentle because it doesn't cause redness and irritation and inflammation, unlike other facials where, like I said, you use that manual extraction, so it's still effective.
And there's lots of hyaluronic in a HydraFacial, which helps the body.
Okay, what's hyaluronic? Because we hear that word in commercials all the time, the hyaluronic acid. What is that?
It's a component of our skin that helps us retain water and give us that glow. And as we age, we lose collagen, we lose hyaluronic acid. That's why, we often see many people for fillers and neurotoxins like Botox as well. So hyaluronic is a nice treatment to help moisturize the skin.
And that's why with the HydraFacial, you get more the downtime with that, because there's some glycolic and salicylic in this HydraFacial. And what that does is a very light peel. And with the hyaluronic in here, it helps you not have that peeling, that dryness, that downtime. So with that hyaluronic, it helps retain the water, helps plump that skin. So that way you don't have that redness, you don't have that itchiness, you don't have that irritation the next day.
Okay, we are going to check back in with you in
It's
a
a
moment. We're
nice-
going to let our patient enjoy
Sure.
her moment and tell her thank you for getting up early for that. I hope she's enjoying this moment of relaxation,
Of course.
a little me time.
Of course.
So stay close by. We'll check back with you in just a few moments. And again, everyone, we're talking some fun beauty topics today, but of course, please, we've got 2 great dermatologists with us today. So send in all of your skin questions, no matter what they are. If you have any concerns or anything, these docs are happy to help both. So Dr. Tomasi, and I'm going to start with you here in studio. From what you have experienced and what you're hearing out there, what are the biggest things people are doing wrong when it comes to preserving youth or kind of holding on to it for dear life like we all do?
I think the biggest thing is really trying to pay your way out of sun protection. A lot of people do pay for these procedures, do a lot of chemical peels, but they don't protect themselves from the sun. And at the end of the day, if you're going to pay all that money and you're not protecting yourself from the sun, you're wasting your money, and you're not going to get the lasting benefit of many of the procedures you're doing.
So you're not going to really tell us anything that we have not heard a million times, which is it really all starts with the sun. The sun is a beautiful, beautiful thing, and we love it, and it has a lot of health benefits. But when it comes to your skin, it is the biggest no-no, right?
Biggest no-no.
Biggest no-no.
You would think it's a vacation, but no, it's just
Right.
a terrible thing for your
And it
skin.
is. You're right. You go to the beach, you don't have to worry all about that, but you're protecting this, your beautiful skin, and it does take away from it, but it's so important from keeping you from having to do all those things, is what you're saying. A couple other things, and we're going to talk about I just want to get through a big laundry list of topics, but what has food got to do with it, Dr. Rajpara? How important are the foods that we eat and the things that we put in our bodies? What does that ultimately mean when it comes to our skin?
Yeah, so food is actually very important following a healthy diet. So a lot of people, are taking these collagen supplements and biotin supplements, but those are actually not necessary if you just eat a healthy diet. Collagen is found in nuts and lean meats and, chicken skin, and that's why a lot of people have chicken broth. It's
What
high
about
in-
chicken wings? Does that count?
Chicken wings are delicious.
I just got to ask. I'm asking for a friend. Do chicken buffalo wings?
The skin does have collagen peptides in it.
Okay, good. I'm going to write that down.
Overall, it's, if you want to indulge once in a while. I mean, I love my hot wings with some Chiefs football. So.
But you're saying the
it's
broth
okay.
is probably a little healthier with it.
Chicken broth,
and you get the
so-
liquid and you get the water in there.
Exactly.
But anything that people should avoid. I mean, I'm going to jump out and just say alcohol. Sorry. Is that, I know everything in moderation, but I mean, how much does that play, as far as overall long-term skin damage and drying it out?
Yep. So alcohol obviously dehydrates you. So on a day-to-day basis, it can make your skin look more sunken and have less elasticity and hydration. And over time, it also breaks down the collagen and elastin and can make you look older faster.
Okay, more things I'm writing down that more bad news you're giving me today, right? Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah. But I have a feeling you guys are going to help us save some money, which is actually what I like even more. Almost as much as not
exactly.
Okay, so we're going to talk collagen. We're going to talk to the collagen powder topic, and unless you've been under a rock, you've seen it. So if you walk the health aisles at any store, you've seen collagen supplements, whether it be the powders, the pills, liquids. They all promise the same thing: that drinking it will make you look younger by boosting the collagen in your face. But is that even remotely possible? Alexis Delcid explores collagen powder, miracle or myth.
You know the adage, youth is wasted on the young? Well, many would argue, so is collagen. You don't miss it until you look in the mirror one day and think, hey, where'd my cheeks go, right? But what if it was possible to put a scoop of something like this in your drink every day and slowly get back that baby face of your youth? That's what collagen powders promise. So we went to the experts here at the University of Kansas Health System to see if these powders really can turn what you're drinking into the fountain of youth.
Well, I would like to have less wrinkles is what I'd like to have.
Stop any woman on the street, ask what they focus on when they look in the mirror.
Oh my God. Oh, all of it. Like in this. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The only thing I hear women worry about is just like stretch marks.
And odds are you'll find a common thread. We are all so darn hard on ourselves.
I would never say out loud to a friend any of the things that I think inside my mind about myself.
Enter the latest thing on which we all seem to be collectively hyper-focused, collagen. We have plenty of collagen when we're young, but as we age, our body's ability to produce it naturally slows down.
Collagen that supports our body from the inside out.
Enter celebrities.
I am gonna make my morning collagen.
And influencers now peddling collagen powders with big promises.
It's within us.
Yeah, I get asked about it almost daily.
And almost daily, dermatologist Anand Rajpara says he tells his patients, don't waste your money. Even still, the University of Kansas Health System's Department of Dermatology Residency Program Director says he's facing an uphill battle these days.
It is about $1 billion industry worldwide now. And you have celebrities like Jennifer Aniston and Kourtney Kardashian promoting this stuff on Instagram, you know, and Kourtney Kardashian at this point is basically a doctor, so.
Clearly he's joking, but Dr. Rajpara says there are 2 things you can buy over the counter that are proven to boost collagen production in your face: a nightly retinol and a vitamin C serum. But for as powerful of an influence that celebrities have over so many people, we were pleasantly surprised to find some young skeptics.
I keep scrolling.
I'm just gonna keep listening to what my doctor recommends and stick to that. Yeah, I know probably a lot of people believe it because it's the Kardashians and they look like angels, but they're like 50 years old.
Okay, ouch, but we get her point. Dr. Rajpara says there are also very effective procedures like fillers and microneedling that will boost the collagen in your face. Those are far more expensive than any powder, lotion, or serum, but they do work. I'm Alexis Del Cid.
Alexis, thanks for going in on that. Okay, and for the record, I did reach out to the Kardashians. They were not available for the panel, so I could only come up with these 2 brilliant doctors to give us our answers. And so, sorry, that's just the way it's going to go. Okay, so let's talk about this because she mentioned it, the baby face. I look back at my high school pictures. I'm like, I'm so round and plump and darling. And it's like, now where did it all go? I have higher cheekbones, but where did the collagen go? So does it work? Does it not?
So yeah, the idea that you would ingest collagen, you digest it, it circulates through the bloodstream, and then magically deposits in your face is just kind of, you know, far-fetched. Yeah.
So, and I admit, Jennifer Aniston, she is a very powerful spokesperson, and I fell for it. I thought, it's the ultimate I'll have what she's having moment. We all know that movie. I will have what Jennifer Aniston is putting into her coffee every morning.
She almost got me.
What's that?
She almost got me.
She almost got you. Okay, so I'm not the only one. But I did, and I tried the brand that she promotes, and I don't know what I was really looking for, but I thought, do I really want to invest in this? Because it comes down to the money. It's the balance between how much do I spend and, you know, how much is it really working? So let's talk about the money behind it. Because Dr. Rajpara, I said, it was hard for me to believe that there was some magic potion in this $30 canister. And you said, but if it was $300, would you believe that it might work better? And I was like, kind of, I think I would. Something would tell me, well, it must work because it's really expensive and it's only rare and it's only for the people who really want to get that collagen back. So help us with the psychology of the money versus the quality of the product.
Yep. So now I have a new business idea, so thank you for that.
100%.
But yeah, unfortunately, people do buy into the fact that the more expensive a product is, the better it is. When in fact, you know, the products that we recommend that we know that work are actually, you know, inexpensive, and you can get them at your local drugstore.
What are your thoughts, Dr. Tomasian? What do you hear?
I agree. I think I think a lot of people see a price tag and they think just because it's more expensive, it has to be medical grade or work better. And to be honest, it's farther from the truth. There's been studies to show in moisturizers that the more expensive the moisturizer, the more likely it'll just have an irritation to it. It's not going to provide any more value. So you got to be careful about the price tag, and don't just think it's going to be better just because it's more expensive, because you'll lose a lot of money very quickly.
Okay, well, we're going to talk more about that and what type of ingredients we should be looking for. And we're going to bust some myths here in just a moment. But I want to head back out to Dr. Julie Holding. She is standing by live, and we're doing a HydraFacial this morning out at our Indian Creek location. Dr. Holding is a plastic surgeon here with the health system. And I just want to talk a little bit about, first of all, Dr. Holding, just tell us a little bit. You said a lot of people may not know that we offer these type of services here at the health system. Might not be something you would automatically think, but what is the benefit of receiving your skin care, maybe that superficial skin care at an academic medical center? Tell us more about that.
Well, we teach future doctors and plastic surgeons, so we have to keep up with all of the latest technology, science, and so I know a lot of people think of us as, a medical center for cancer, but we do offer, again, skincare consultations, so you can focus your money on products that actually work. You can have lasers, which will also help stimulate collagen, decrease wrinkles, and all of these things, again, are adjuncts. We offer fillers. The fillers, we do lose, like I said, we do lose collagen, but also as we age, we lose some fat in our face. You mentioned you looked at your old picture and you felt like your face was nice and round. Well, fillers also help bring back some of the natural structure to give you just a nice little glow. Most people say it makes them look like they're well rested, but nobody really knows what they did. And then, of course, everybody worries about the wrinkles too. So, the neurotoxins, the Botox, the Dysport, all the different types that are out there can also help, again, as an adjunct for making you look more youthful.
So let's talk about the money behind it, because we know, having these procedures done, they're not cheap by any means. But when you look at what people are spending as far as products go versus some of this preventative cleansing and deep cleaning to care for the skin kind of at the baseline. Tell us a little bit about that, about maybe how people can see it differently. Like if by doing this and maybe skipping on some of those products and doing the basics, they might see a difference on their face and their pocketbook.
Right. One of the things too is that, to mention, we talked about Jennifer Aniston. Just remember that social media is just a new way for people to advertise. So more than likely, Jennifer Aniston or any of the Kardashians, they're being paid for what they're promoting. They're not just doing it because they actually believe it. So that's something that you have to think about too. Jumping on the hot new products, everybody wants to make money off of our need for youthfulness and our desire to look younger. So going to a place that has physicians and practitioners who are well educated in what actually does work will help you focus your money in ways that are more productive. And it doesn't mean that you have to buy hundreds of dollars of products. It can mean even just knowing what cleanser you should try, what lotion you should try, and even the sunscreen. Because again, I completely agree. The sun is one of the worst things that happens to a lot of people's skin.
There's the sun again. That's what it keeps coming down to that. Can't escape it. Hey, let's get to some myths. We're going to get to our community questions here in just a few, because we've got quite a few on this topic and for COVID questions. So we'll get to those, but let's just run through some and bust some quick myths if we can. Let's start off. We talked about collagen, and just quickly, what is the final word on collagen?
So it's
supplements.
It's probably not going to hurt you, but it's very unlikely to help.
Any issues? Is there something that could they take collagen and could it have a reaction in their body? Because I heard somebody say the other day, I can't take collagen because it affects some other health issue that they're having. Could that be a possibility?
A couple of things, one, if you're a vegetarian or vegan, a lot of these are made from like animal skin and bones and things like that. And, fish scales, so if you have a fish allergy, that could be a problem. It also can cause some minor digestive issues.
Okay, but nothing
major.
No major. Okay, just wasting money. Okay, let's move on to some, what about biotin hair gummies for hair loss? Thoughts on this?
Yeah, so they're very popular right now. You know, all the celebrities are endorsing them on social media. You know, they come in like cute little gummy bears and they taste great.
Right.
But there's zero evidence that they actually work.
Okay, another hard no. Okay, here's something you see, those rollers made out of jade, the gua sha.
Yeah.
You see those when you scroll through your social media feed. What are these about? These work?
So these work to depuff your skin, and basically it helps massage your lymphatics. However, it's not going to give you a jawline or a neck lift. I mean, there's no way at all to really move that structure, the underneath structure of your skin up with a roller, because if you did that, you could just use your fingers, and it's not really going to change much. So also a no.
Okay, another hard no. Okay, now let's go to our next one. What about acne mistakes? People picking at their face, popping zits, putting toothpaste to minimize the redness. Is this myth or what?
Yep, complete myth. You want to leave acne alone. You know, trying to mess with it, pick it, pop it, leads to scarring, can lead to infection. So leave it alone.
And that's some good advice.
Thanks.
What's that?
It's fun to pop things sometimes.
It is fun to pop.
Okay, Hawkinson said it's fun to pop, but that's a good message to send along to your kids, because tell us about that. When you have kids that have acne, they're struggling as it is, and it's natural to want to pick at that, but you're saying that could cause that's fresh baby skin, and we don't want to damage it.
Yeah, so acne, is super common. Our biggest concern as dermatologists is really not the acne, but the scarring you get from acne. So picking, popping your pimples, anything like that, it's going to increase inflammation and can lead to further scarring, which unfortunately is permanent. So,
Dr. Hawkinson, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, as an infectious disease physician, I would also recommend against using any objects such as pins, safety pins, needles, or anything like that when doing that as well.
Thank you for the tip. Okay, here's one that I do, and it's kind of that over exfoliation, taking like a rough rag and rubbing it on your skin to kind of get the dead skin off. What are your thoughts about that? And using like harsh, like abrasive cleansers and things like that have almost like a sand feel to it.
Yeah, so that's a very common thing a lot of us do. And, there's these scrubs out there that have these particles that you feel you're getting a very good clean skin on it. But to be honest, you're causing what we call micro tears on your skin, which could lead to increased risk for infection. There are two ways to exfoliate, chemical and mechanical. And mechanical is that rough way, and then there's chemicals that kind of gently exfoliate your skin. Your skin naturally exfoliates every 28 to 45 days. So you don't need to over exfoliate, because you're just going to weaken your skin barrier, increase risk for infection, dullness of your skin, very irritation and redness. So it's a no as well.
So just wash it with your hand is probably the best thing to do.
A gentle cleanser just
Okay.
to kind of remove your makeup, sunscreen, and impurities. But
Question, the sonic hair, the one that, no.
yeah, no.
I've been using that for 6-7 years.
That's where you went wrong.
Yeah.
So this is what's happened. Okay. Thanks a lot. All right, I'm throwing it out when I get home. Okay, what about the Blisty pillow? These satiny, silky pillowcases that promise that they're gonna, decrease the wrinkles and the way you lay on your face.
Yeah, there's no way a silk pillow is going to decrease wrinkles. I know it's shocking to
Well, Dr. Hawkinson's been doing this all along.
I know
right?
he has like 3 silk pillows back there.
Stone pillow. I sleep on a stone pillow. That's
Exactly. So yeah, there's no. I know that's the claim to how they sell it, but again, it's just like Dr. Holding mentioned, they're just kind of taking advantage of people trying to find that kind of fountain of youth.
Gosh, there's a lot of money to be made in this. We really
Yep.
are in the wrong business, right? Okay, so we're going to keep talking about things. I want to jump into a few viewer questions because we've got many coming in. Alice wants to know. She said, "What is rosacea?" But I'm wondering if she means rosacea. So can we talk about that? I didn't know if there was something called rosacea, or is it just rosacea?
Probably rosacea.
She says that maybe there was a spelling there. So what's rosacea, and how should it be cared for?
So rosacea is a chronic inflammatory condition. It's very common. And there's a lot of reasons we have it, but basically what it looks like is diffuse redness of your skin. You could have acne-like lesions. You could have changes in your skin where it gets thickened, and you could also have eye findings. But there is, not a perfect cause to it. It could be due to excessive sun exposure, genetics, things like that. And to treat it, there's many types of rosacea, so you have to figure out what type of rosacea you have and then treat it specifically for that type.
Decently common? Is that, I mean,
Yeah.
I know many people with that.
We're commonly referred to as adult acne.
Adult acne. Okay, well, Sherry wants to know, is it good to take antibiotics for acne? Doesn't that wipe away our good bacteria?
That's a great question. And Dr. Hawkinson probably can chime in on that as well. But yeah, we are trying to move away from long-term antibiotics for acne for sure. We try to do, like for rosacea, we try to do very low dosing submicrobial, so it doesn't affect bacteria and cause bacterial resistance. They're actually coming out with new antibiotics now for acne that we can use that actually cause less antibiotic resistance.
So that would mean something you would take versus like when you see antibacterial on a bottle that you would put on topically.
Right.
Does that have the same effect as far as antibodies go?
Yeah, so you can do like a topical antibiotic. We usually use clindamycin, but that also, if you use it just alone, can cause antibiotic resistance of the P. acnes bacteria on your skin.
Dr. Hawkinson, does that happen when you take too many antibiotics?
Yeah, so again, with systemic antibiotics or antibiotics that you get IV or pill form as we're talking about, certainly you can have antibiotic resistance occur during that time. With things such as topical antibiotics, it occurs less frequently because the amount delivered is so high, it usually overcomes those barriers. But anytime you are taking antibiotics for a period of time, it's not that your body gets used to the antibiotic, it's that the bacteria become resistant, just as Dr. Raj Para had talked about. Now, in some instances, you have to talk with your physician about the benefits and risks of going on those long-term antibiotics. I have a number of patients who are on long-term antibiotics because they have retained hardware, retained knee joints or hip joints, or retained metal in their back because they had an infection and they weren't able to remove it. And so they are on long-term antibiotic, but it's done in a measured way. They do very well, but I think Dr. Raj Para's point is right on. You just have to assess the benefits and risks, and it sounds like for dermatology, they are trying to move away from that chronic antibiotic use.
Virginia wants to know, for those of us who prioritize function over form, we appreciate that. Are collagen supplements helpful for joint health? So we said they don't cause any problems, but can they be helpful for other health issues?
So there are some studies, again, no great quality evidence that it can help a little bit with, joint pain. So some patients do feel like it helps. They're still studying it. The evidence right now is there is some, but it's still low quality.
Anything to add, Dr. Tomasian? Anything you've heard?
I mean, there's a lot of reports of patients who take collagen supplements, especially for their joints, and it's very hit or miss, I think. Some people have great result from it, and some people think they just wasted a lot of money. So is it the best thing for your joints? Probably not. Is it going to hurt?
Other options. So, yeah, nothing proven, if you will. Okay, so Isaac on YouTube, curious, do we need sunscreen if we are indoors maybe work in a big office building with big windows, sun shining through? We talk about wearing it in the car. What advice do you have?
Yes, you do. So UVA, which is really what causes photoaging and gives you wrinkles, causes a lot of allergic reactions from the sun as well, penetrates most windows. So if you're in an office and you're sitting in front of a window all day, you're still getting damage, and your skin basically, it's almost, I always say it's like a weight gain. Basically, you don't know what happened until it happened. So you see the wrinkles and you're like, when did this all happen? It's all that old damage. So protecting yourself from the sun, indoor, outdoor, rain, shine, it's like brushing your teeth. You just do it every day.
Got it. Okay. Dr. Hawkinson, Melissa wants to know, has anyone gotten the Moderna booster? What were the side effects? My second shot felt like the mild flu. What are you hearing about these boosters and after effects?
Yeah, I think, again, when you are getting different dosing, whether it's your second dose as compared to your first or your third dose compared to your second, there are heterogeneous results, meaning it's different. Some people feel worse. Some people do better and have no problems whatsoever. We know with Moderna, they have it's a half dose for that third dose as compared to the first two, and so that has helped to reduce the side effects as well. But we know that Dr. Stites didn't have any problems with that dose. I didn't have any problems. It is individualized, but going with that lower dose does seem to help with those overall adverse effects, or those side effects such as local pain at the shoulder, but also those systemic effects such as fevers or chills or the headache. It is individualized, but what we have seen is that it is certainly less than those people who've gotten that second dose.
Sticking on that topic, Jeannie is asking, she had a bad reaction to Moderna. Her doctor says to try Johnson & Johnson. What would you recommend? Because Johnson & Johnson, they don't have a booster, correct?
Yeah. Johnson & Johnson, you can get a second dose now after getting,
and that's considered the
receiving
booster?
that first, yeah. However, without knowing exactly what that reaction was, I probably would recommend against going from the mRNA platform to the adenovirus platform or the Johnson & Johnson platform. Probably try to stick with that mRNA vaccine platform dosing. We know that there are some early studies looking at AstraZeneca and then getting Pfizer dose, so it's the virus, the adenovirus vector, and then getting the mRNA. And they do seem to have maybe a possibly more robust T cell and antibody response, but that same thing could not really be said for getting the mRNA platform and then the adenovirus platform. If you can, I would certainly recommend sticking with the mRNA the mRNA vaccine platform.
Okay, Joyce wants to know, what recommendations do you have for under eye bags? And I'm going to ask also dark circles. Best advice.
Best advice is figure out what's causing your under eye dark circles. There's so many causes, genetic. If you have decreased volume under your eye, you get a shadow, so it's just decreased volume. If you have bad allergies and you rub your face a lot, you could cause hyperpigmentation. So you need to figure out what's causing your dark circle and then treat that specific cause. There's a lot of things that say I'll treat dark circles, so you have to be careful because you don't want to just pick a product that's not going to treat anything. So if you have a lot of swelling in your eye, then you use, for example, hyaluronic acid, you're going to plump that area even more and make your circle worse. So you got to be careful of what you use, but there are several things to try, like filler, caffeine, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and retinol.
A pair of glasses works great for me. So.
Yeah. Is that you decided it? You hide it. I hear you.
I don't even need these. You know,
I know my etiology. What if it's waking up, the job, kids,
life,
wine, whiskey? What if it's that? So.
Yeah.
You just run away from all of it, you know.
Yeah. To a beach.
I hear you. Okay. Hey, we've got Dr. Julie Holding is back with us, and now she's joining us while we are doing our HydraFacial out there at our Indian Creek location. Dr. Holding, I wanted to ask you earlier, we were talking about acne. Are there things that you do out there? And maybe, I know we talk about having adult acne, but also our kids and teens, you know, some of us suffered with that. What type of things do you recommend? Are there any procedures that you're offering out there that would be helpful for kids?
I would probably defer that to Bethany because she would be the one. The one thing that we do have, though, that I recommended to some of my teens that come in with acne, number one, I refer them to you guys in dermatology, but also we have just some acne cleansing wipes that are very easy for them to use, and they don't have to use tons of products. And so they're more likely to use those types of things. But again, you know, I would have them come see Bethany as well for some of her treatment.
Bethany, what do you got for us?
Well, I would probably start with the Perfect Derma Chemical Peel. So what that peel does is it really helps dry out that acne, as well as goes after those acne scars. You know, you kind of feel the tingle at first, and then after that, about 3 days, your skin starts to slough off, which then helps dry up that acne, as well as help those scars. Again, if the acne is over a level where I can help, I refer those patients out to you guys. They're in dermatology. There's great retinols that you most definitely can do as well, help dry up that acne, which we offer that as well. We also have an acne kit that we have through some of our skincare products here that we've also seen some great results with.
And then for some of the acne scars, you can do all kinds of things for the scarring for acne, both minimally invasive to, you know, complete resurfacing of the skin, even, you know, skin thin, those types of things. So it's really individualized. and also based on, you know, the compliance of the patient and what they want to go through. Yes.
So I have a question, and I want to go through our whole panel because Katie wants to know, you know, we talk about all the myths and what not to buy and not what to do, but the question is, what do we do? And I want to know that too. So I want to go through, if somebody came up to both of you gals, and if we took away, you know, any of the products and we took away having different procedures done, what would be your just biggest advice of what do we do to help, you know, we're not trying to turn the clock back 20 years, but what do we do to preserve where we are today? What would be your best advice to someone?
This is just, again, circling back around, but, you know, we always a good diet, stay hydrated, you know, I mean, doing the optimal things that none of us do, but always say we should. And again, you know, make sure you wear hats, make sure that you wear a sunscreen that has some sort of physical type of barrier in them. Zinc is a good example. And, you know, just try to make sure you use a gentle cleanser so that it doesn't dry out your skin too much, and find a moisturizer that you like, that you feel works for you. And don't spend tons of money on things that are promising results unless you talk with somebody who's a professional.
You know,
great advice.
She mentioned it again, the sunscreen, physical sunscreen's great. A little trick is what I like to do. When I go and I buy a sunscreen, I look on the back to see what the percentage of the zinc is. Higher the percentage of the zinc, usually, to me, the better the sunscreen is. As well, you know, a good eye cream. After the age of 22, 21, we start to lose that plumpness under the eyes. That's what we look in the mirror and we notice first, right? We're like, oh my goodness, my eyes. I always say invest in a good sunscreen, eye cream, good vitamin C, great antioxidant.
The one thing I would say too is that, you know, a lot of people will apply sunscreen, but they don't realize it does need to be reapplied. So read the instructions, you know, especially if you're outside swimming or doing some sort of exercise. Make sure that it's meant for that, and that you reapply it per the instructions, because it doesn't last forever. Yeah.
Great advice, ladies. Thank you so much. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Doctors, just best advice. What can we do to avoid some of that damage so that we don't have to be searching around for this miracle product to reverse time? What can we be doing now?
Yeah, so it's actually very simple and easy. You know, the best results are from proven products. In the morning, we basically just recommend a vitamin C serum and sunscreen. And at night, a good moisturizer and a retinol. Retinol and vitamin C serums are actually proven to boost collagen production, reduce wrinkles, fade dark spots. And you can get those at your local drugstore. Honestly, you know, you can get a good product for like $20. And that's really all we recommend. That's all I recommend to patients. That's all you really need to do. And, you know, just keep it simple.
Keep it simple and keep it consistent, I would imagine.
Exactly.
Dr. Tomassian, what would you tell me? What would you tell our viewers, men and women too?
I would have to just, you know, support what Dr. Rajpara said, is keep it simple. A lot of the products out there, if you look at an ingredient on the back of a product, a lot of the ones have the same ingredient. So you might be using products that have vitamin C in all your products, right? So you want to be very simple with it. Like you said, vitamin C in the morning, even adding a niacinamide, that's another kind of antioxidant that's been shown to help with wrinkles, improve your skin barrier, to give you a nice, youthful, radiant skin too. And then, of course, retinol is probably the most well-studied cream we could use to boost collagen and give you a nice, youthful look. I think every dermatologist uses it. So,
repeat that again. What was the
retinol?
Retinol. Okay,
retinol.
That was my question, because every product out there says retinol or or the vitamin C serum. So retinol is something to be looking for on those packages.
Correct. 100%. Retinol is the best.
And it's seeping in. It's getting down there.
Yeah,
okay,
that's working.
So we do have a few more questions. I want to make sure we get to this, and I will send this out to Dr. Holding. Adrian wants to know, what kind of eye cream or ingredients in the eye cream should someone be using?
So I think that goes back to the question about, you know, what are your concerns? What are you looking for in an eye cream? You know, is it dark circles, swelling, pigmentation, lines, all those kind of things. So there are some brightening eye serums or creams out there that have a little bit of low-grade retinol in them. You want to be careful because it can cause hypersensitivity to the sun. So a lot of times I just look for something that's nice and moisturizing. And then in the morning, I actually use one that has a little bit of caffeine in it and a roller ball, and it helps make me look like I didn't just wake up. Take that one.
So Deb wants to know, what is vitamin C serum? Serum sounds so intense and great, and I want to put that on my skin. And vitamin C, that's all good stuff. So what is it, and what is it doing?
So it's an antioxidant, meaning that it helps to take away some of the free radicals, which are some of the causes for damage to our skin and aging. It helps stimulate some collagen. It can help with some fine lines and moisturize your skin. So there's different types of vitamin C products. There's lotions, creams, serums, and serums are more likely kind of the oily type of substance. It doesn't mean that if you have acne or oily skin, you shouldn't use those types of things. But again, not all products are created equal. Stuff that's over the counter may have some little drops of vitamin C or even retinol in it, but it doesn't mean that it's actually a point of effectiveness. So,
we carry here a 10, 15, and a 20. And again, when the patient so when the patient comes in, we talk about, what their main concerns are, and we kind of go off of, that to kind of range what percentage that it would be good for that patient.
Angela wants to know, what is the best approach to minimizing age spots? And I am listening hard to this answer.
That can kind of go, you can start with products, a good hydroquinone, which is a prescription. Again, the dermatologist recommend that for lightening and brightening. There's some lasers. Again, the main thing that you want to do when it comes to age spots, remember that sunscreen. The sun is what causes those brown spots, that sun damage.
So really, sunspots are age spots, correct?
Correct.
They are the same thing.
It comes out and it, causes the melanocytes to build that brown, to make that damage into the skin.
So it comes back to the sunscreen.
A lot of our sun damage can happen as we're kids, even before the age of 15. So just try to remember to apply it to your children and protect them as well.
Okay, a couple more questions. I want to make sure I get everybody's in. Okay, so Adrian wants to know, and this is a good question because guys, I'll ask you about these over-the-counter masks. They are everywhere. My 8-year-old loves to use them. They have the little panda and the kitty cat, and I'm like, I don't even know what's on there, but she slaps it on her face, and I'm worried about making sure she rinses it all off. What are in those weird things that look like you have meat on your face? And are they good, helpful, or are they just for fun?
So a lot of those masks don't do much. I won't lie. And there's so many variations, and a lot of them have kind of harsh chemicals like lemon extract in it that dermatologists hate lemon on the skin, so don't ever put anything with lemon in it. Okay. Basically, that they have I think a tomato one too. So very acidic things. If most masks are hydrating, they have a little bit of hyaluronic acid in it, so they kind of give you a nice cooling sensation, a nice hydration, but they're not going to be your end all of helping your skin.
Okay. Deb wants to know, can you have micro needling if you are on blood thinners? Is that something you know about, Dr. Tomasian? Because that's what it, do you know what that is? Because what is it?
Microblading?
The micro needling, or I guess what you do with your eyebrows.
So I think that's the microblading, right?
Yeah, that's blading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Needles, blades.
I'm not sure if it's recommended to do it if you're on blood thinners. I'm sure if you talk to the provider who's doing it and they're, if they've done it on people with blood thinners.
But I would ask your doctor, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and make sure if you're on any prescription medications and you're having anything cosmetic, make sure to disclose all your medications, because with a lot of these procedures, bruising is a potential, especially with filler. So you want to let them know that you're on anything that's going to harm your outcome.
Right. Don't trust them to know. You got to know your own health and take that in your hands. Okay. Patrick wants to know, what's the best way for men to take care of their skin if they are outdoors a lot?
So basic principles if they're outside a lot. For men, we definitely try to keep it simple. So just try to put on a sunscreen, broad-brimmed hat if you're going to be outside. And then, even now, for men, most of the men are doing a good moisturizer and a retinol at night.
I know men just love that word. Have you moisturized? I mean, do men really do that? I always say that. The men in my life, I'm like, you've got to moisturize. You're all ashy and dry. Does that really help? And it's simple.
It is simple and it works. And I'll piggyback on that is there's a lot of SPF clothing now, or UV protective clothing that's super lightweight. And if you're outdoors a lot, I'll be honest, as someone who loves sunscreen, I struggle with even reapplying sunscreen when I'm out. So if you're can't trust it, I would just use an SPF clothing that's gonna protect you and cause a lot of that wrinkle you're gonna get in the future will prevent that.
Yeah, I heard that the clothing is really just a great thing to have. I mean, especially if you're somebody who works out in the sun and has a lot of exposure. Angela wants to know, how about apple cider vinegar on the skin? Have you heard of that one?
Yes, I hate it.
Is that a thing?
Yes, people do it to help with their pores. There are big trends on social media for that. It's irritating to the skin. I don't like it. I think there's way better products to put on your skin if you're trying to target pores.
What about drinking it? I just got to ask you while we're on the topic, because that's the worst thing ever to drink. Does that do anything for your skin when you ingest it? Like when you ingest it and for other things?
My mother would use it, but I
Okay, we'll let Mama keep on that. She can tell me how it's working. Okay, so Kathy has a question. She says she has been using, and I won't say the name, but a very high-end brand name for 40 years. She says, people say I look 20 years younger than I really am. Are they just full of it? Or is it possible that this is, again, we go back to the money, that we're spending, money on names that we all know. Is it possible that that's working, or could she go to the drugstore and look 20 years younger?
She's probably been taking very good care of her skin. If she's using these products, I'm sure she's doing excellent sun protection. She's moisturizing. She's using retinols and things like that. So, you can find the same ingredients in much lower cost products that are just as effective.
So it is about the ingredients. I really want to touch on that. When people turn it over, is there a couple of things they should be avoiding or really looking for?
Yeah, so the ones that they want to look for, obviously the retinol, antioxidants, vitamin C, niacinamide. Those are the big ones that you want to be looking for.
Okay.
In moisturizers, it's ceramides and hyaluronic acids.
Shirley wants to know, she said she used retinol on her neck, and 3 days it started to itch and she had little bumps. Will those bumps go away, or is that something she should just stop using?
So one of the biggest side effects of retinol is skin irritation, and a lot of times people just use way too much. We recommend with any of our retinols to use a pea-size amount for the whole face. People use it as a moisturizer, so they end up getting a lot of irritation, skin redness, and peeling of their skin. Typically, if you have irritation right when you put on the retinol, that means you're irritated to the product and not the retinol itself. So you kind of have to see I always tell people, don't test something on your face, test it on your inner arm. So if you have something that reacts, at least it's not on your face.
Good advice. Dr. Holding, I do want to get to these questions because this is on topic today, but what about glycolic peels for wrinkles and skin appearance improvements? Tell us about glycolic peels.
Yeah, so the HydraFacial, that actually has the glycolic in there, which is a very light chemical peel. Again, that's going to help slough off that old skin to allow that new skin to kind of come back. As we age, our cell turnover rate slows way down. So a glycolic will most definitely help lightly to slough that off. Again, with a HydraFacial, since there's so much hyaluronic in there, which is, again, helping your body retain that water, you'll have less irritation, redness, and things like that. Now, when you're buying a product over the counter, typically, again, you'll see a lot of glycolic salicylics in those products. Again, that percentage is usually very, very low. So you'll see maybe a little bit of peeling, but I personally don't think you're going to see tons of peeling unless they're having an allergy or something like that.
And I wanted to go back actually to, kind of asking about the over-the-counter type of masks. I have seen several people who have had masks for a very long time, and then they use it, and because it's expired or old, they actually get they can get a burn. So you want to be careful with these types of over-the-counter products. Like I wouldn't like to use them on myself just because of some of the things that I see people for. So again, you want to be careful with this stuff because if it does have even low-grade glycolics or those sorts of things, it can still have a negative effect on the skin. So be careful.
So what you're saying is you can find less expensive products, but you still have to do your homework and make sure that they're the right ones. So that's good advice. Lou wants to know, back in our earlier conversation, you mentioned bone broth. Is homemade bone broth or store-bought beneficial to your skin? I mean, does it matter? Is that over-the-counter, bone broth?
Yeah, bone broth is great. It is really rich in those, amino acids and collagen peptides that you find in those supplements, and it's just kind of a healthy, easy, cheap way to do it at home.
Okay, just checking these out really quick. Hey, Dr. Holding, as we start to wrap up, we are getting questions about, do you sell products out there? And how much does some of these, people want to know the cost of things. So so people can budget that in for some of these preventative measures. What are the costs of some of these procedures?
It's variable depending on what you want to have done, and even we do sell products out here. So we have several different brands. I can't promote the brands, but I have one that I just absolutely love and use myself. But you can have something, buy a product for $50, which is usually if you get a prescription, say for retinol or hyaluronic acid, hydroquinone. Sometimes that's all that costs as well, but all the way up to hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars, just depending on what you want to have done. But the thing to remember, though, is that, even though I usually recommend some skincare kits, they may be a little bit more expensive, but they're going to last you several months. And so compared to what you're spending on some of the over-the-counter or non-prescription strength things, you're actually saving yourself some money.
Well, I think you make a good point because you're able to direct us in the right way. But I can't tell you how many products I've thrown out and wasted money on things because it irritates my skin, or I don't even like the smell of it, or so you're just wasting money. So it's like if you're going to spend the money, make sure you're spending it in the right spot. So that is really good advice. One last question. My grandmother, and I'll give it to you, Dr. Holding. My grandmother only used cold cream. Remember when you just wipe all that cold cream on your face and then you would take something and wipe it off? She said that soap dried it out. So don't use soap. She always used the cold cream. She looked young even into her late 90s. So was that the cold cream and not using soap, or is that just good genes?
It's probably genetics. Cold cream. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't use just plain soap on your skin as it is. My grandmother used soap. She used the apple cider vinegar, and then she just used like a hand cream on her skin. And it didn't irritate her, and she swore by it. But, it's probably more likely genetics than anything.
Okay, good advice. So we're going to wrap up, but I want to get our final thoughts. And just Bethany and Dr. Holding, just tell us just kind of as we head out in our way of getting towards better skin, what do you want us to know?
We do complimentary consults. So if you want to come down and meet with me, and I can just kind of go over a regimen, what would be the best for you, with whether it be skincare products or procedures, and then you can take that to the next level if you have other questions and meet with Dr. Holding if you're more interested in something with fillers or maybe a surgery, if that's something that I cannot unfortunately help with. But yeah, we offer quite a few things, and we'd love to meet you. You never bet.
I second that. I mean, I love to talk to patients about skincare too. They often come to me wanting surgical procedures for their face or eyes. And, sometimes just doing a little bit of skincare can be really beneficial and rejuvenating. But, again, I cannot emphasize enough just, staying out of the sun, using the sunscreen, and, being healthy.
Yeah, there's no magic powder, no magic pill. It's being consistent and simple and staying out of the sun, just like you both have been saying. Dr. Tomasian, just your final thoughts. What's our big takeaway from today?
I think the big takeaway is keep it simple. We know we've talked about what's worked. We know it's been studied well. You don't need to spend a lot of money on your skincare. And if you just stay consistent, you'll see the result. So it's not an overnight change. Stay consistent with what works, and you'll see a result.
And Jennifer Aniston and Kim Kardashian do not have the answers.
No.
So watch your social media feeds and don't fall into it.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Take it with a grain of salt. But Dr. Rajpara, I think I want your final thoughts, but really what I think you're saying is that you can budget good skincare into your life, but you do still have to do your research and read your proper ingredients and make some good decisions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, having a effective anti-aging skincare routine is actually very affordable and easy to do. And you know, if you see a good dermatologist or plastic surgeon, they can recommend the things that you need. But most of the stuff is really inexpensive.
And most of the things you're telling us are things we already know. But like I said, I think the biggest takeaway for me is I'm going to be saving some more money after talking to you. So.
And also remember that, you know, true beauty is on the inside, and it's much less expensive, which is what I try to tell my wife.
I love it. I love it. Well said. Well said. Dr. Hawkinson, your final thoughts today.
Well, after our guest today and yesterday, I you know, it's such fun stuff. I may have to go back to residency and do some other training. You know, I would agree. I think staying out of the sun, using sunscreen, and avoiding smoke like cigarette or cigar smoke is extremely important. We remember what happened to Kramer after just a couple weeks when his lawyer, Jackie Childs, famously said, "Your face is my case." So I think that's going to be important moving forward. The other thing is we know that about 10% of children 5 to 11 who are eligible for vaccine in the United States have gotten the vaccine. I think it's very important to continue, especially moving into these colder days now and the gathering season and Thanksgiving just a week away, that it's very important. And I'm talking to you, Carson, have your dad take you and your brother to get vaccinated. The more children we can get vaccinated, the more we can keep them from getting ill, from getting long COVID, and importantly also missing school. So it is very important. Continue to get vaccinated.
So we need Carson to get vaccinated, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, great segue to what I was just going to say. Please send in your pictures and videos of your kiddos getting their vaccine. We're going to show them here at the end of our show. You can send that to Facebook Messenger at KU Hospital or email them to Medical News Network at kumc.edu. You can also email them to me at jlevel, and we'll get those shown. And we really want to showcase our kids that are out there doing the right thing and setting a great example. So thank you all for being with us today. Thanks to all of our great panel today, Dr. Holding. We really appreciate you being out with us. And Bethany, great. Tell our patient thank you. She looks beautiful. And Dr. Tomasian, great to see you. Dr. Rajpara. We'll be in touch. All right, don't forget you can catch our show anytime on Facebook or on YouTube coming up tomorrow. Okay, great. So our numbers gal is back, and we love her. Dr. Amber Schmidtke, she's going to join us with new data shedding light on what to expect when we look at the current vaccination numbers up against the possibility of these lifted mask mandates. A lot of concerns about that. We'll run through all of that with her. Plus, our team cannot tell great stories without the amazing patients and the doctors who get them well again. So with that, one of our team stories was nominated for a national award. It is about this man and this young woman. So we're going to remind you about how they are now forever connected. That is tomorrow. We'll see you here at 8. Make it a great Thursday.
Subscribe to our morning medical update and open mics with Dr. Stites podcasts. Now everywhere podcasts are available.